This is Kim O'Neill from the Every Day is a New Day podcast and live show, and you're listening to the Going North podcast with the hilarious Dom Brightman. Be sure to subscribe to his show so you don't miss any episodes, and remember, every day is always a new day.
Today's episode is sponsored by the book that will empower you, encourage you, and through its expression help you to advance to your next level. Stay the Course, The Elite Performers, 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success by this guy right here you're hearing. And the good news is you can now hear the book on audiobook. So head over to Amazon.com or Audible.com or Apple Music, pick up the audiobook. And that's today's sponsor. Go out and buy a copy or a few of Stay the Course, The Elite Performers, 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success, and advance north to your next level of greatness. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, it's the Going North podcast. And we got one heck of a super special, awesome guest for you today because, my goodness, we got another wonderful writer who's joined the business of immortality by publishing their first wonderful book, y'all. That's right. And my goodness, let me tell you a bit about this super special, awesome human right here. Entrepreneur, certified personal trainer. So that's right, folks. Kicking butt and taking names and making you get on your back and get some abs on you. Integrator, mystic, and facilitator of transformation. That's right. You might become Super Saiyan after this wonderful interview, y'all. With more than 20 years of experience. 20 years of experience, and she doesn't look it, so she must have been doing this since she jumped out of the womb. So let's give it up for the one and only LS herself, the legendary and sensational Lillian So. How you doing today, Lillian?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. And you are accurate about all of those things. Yes, people do become Super Saiyan status when they work with me. And yes, I have been doing this pretty much since I've come out of the womb. So you are spot on. You see me though. You see me. I love it.
That's what I'm talking about. So welcome to interview number, 593, I guess, before you.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's right, because you've been rocking and rolling in more ways than one.
I have for a very, very long time. And, it's nice to finally be able to be in a position where I can start to bring all of these things into place and write a book. And what did you call it? The Land of Immortality?
Oh yeah, the business of
immortality. The business. You said the business of immortality. I have never heard that before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how come I've never thought about that before? You are absolutely right. I've just entered. Yes. Immortalized forever. Incredible.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. She's going to get a statue in the future, y'all. That's right. Going to speak it in existence for her. That's right.
Let's do it.
Right. That's right. Even though she's got a statuesque body already and helping other folks become great statues.
Well, that was kind of more like in my 20s, but yes, I'm still trying to hang in there.
But it's all good. It's all good. So my goodness, with a wonderful bio like that, with all the stuff you accomplished, all the stuff you're going to accomplish, what is next on the agenda for you? Because my goodness, you got this wonderful book out now. So what's next? Is it world domination, or is it something else through world domination? Going to sneak it in there somehow?
Yeah.
How does one fill us in?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I'm world domination. I'm I don't know about world domination. It's not like a goal. It's not like something I write in my journal ever. However, I'm sure there will be, some version of, domination and some in some way, shape, or form throughout the journey. But I think really for me, now that I've written this book, it was a huge step for me forward in terms of really providing the first step to the Lillian rabbit hole, so to speak. So the way that I've been describing it is this book for me, I actually wrote 2 books last year. And one book was with a co-author, and we wrote a book called Fit CEO because we had, she was my client for many, many years. She's the former CEO of Citi. And we had plotted to write a book together many, many years ago called Fit CEO. And so after I wrote that, I also was writing simultaneously my book, So Empowered, at the time. And the way that I've described this book is Fit CEO was kind of like the greatest hits album. It's like all the little collections of all the greatest hits, kind of like a greatest hits pop album kind of thing. And So Empowered is like my first like indie album. This is like the first step towards or down the Lillian rabbit hole. And so there's so much to obviously learn when you're working with me. And there's so many various different rabbit holes that we can go down. But this is like that first step. This is that first step into what it's like to actually work with me and kind of enter my world and the things that I talk about and things that I teach and all the ways that I help people transform. So that is what this is. And so to answer your question, what's next from there? I think what's next from there is I don't have a whole lot of attachment per se to exactly, what's going to happen from here. But I do think that it's going to be super impactful to have a very simple resource that I can share with anybody that's interested in taking control of their lives in a holistic way, in the way that I can teach them, in a very accessible, easy to follow, digestible way. So I think from here, it's just how many more people can we eventually ripple into? How many more people can we literally empower to take control of their lives by looking at themselves as so much more than just a physical being, but realizing that they are also made of energy and thoughts and feelings and the spirit and all of that stuff. And so hopefully, whatever ripple I make, no matter how big or small, I know that that is what's coming. And I'm excited to receive what comes out of that. I have really no attachment. I have no idea what that's going to look like.
So no Gorilla Glue to nothing, huh?
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. Even when I was writing this book, I wasn't like, oh my God, like my goal is to, write or sell 1 million copies of this, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's just like, no, it's time. It just felt like it was time to take this step in my journey, as far as what I'm contributing to the world, as far as what I'm doing to continue to, create that ripple from me and beyond, like you said, forever and ever, immortality status.
Oh, I could tell you're going to be saying that a lot more often now.
For sure. Absolutely. And I will always mention that this is where it started.
That's right, because she's going north in more ways than one. So my goodness, so backtracking a bit to the Lillian rabbit hole, I'm sure, as with all rabbit holes, you got to start on land first. And I believe land was, I guess, lacking a lot of water at the time because of your upbringing with all the drive to become an overachiever, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean, I really didn't. It was wild. I had no idea that I would, eventually go down all these various different rabbit holes with my personal journey and my professional journey, and then eventually get to the point where I'm integrating all these things, creating a community and creating this life-changing process for my clients and writing a book. I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, my whole journey started with me just trying to lose weight so my family could stop talking smack to me. Right. I was, literally my curiosity around fitness and taking care of myself, all of that stuff originated from, being raised under harsh criticisms from various different family members, growing up as a kid. And so, I really started getting interested in nutrition and fitness and things like that at a very, very early age. And from there, it just naturally started to, again, ripple out, right? From getting into fitness as a child because I felt like I had to do something about my appearance from all the criticisms that I received, to then truly becoming very interested in these things, becoming a, very successful athlete and fitness professional and all these things. And then eventually going down all these different rabbit holes of self-discovery and healing. Not a clue, had no idea. I I actually just, yeah, all I knew is that I wanted to study all things exercise science and understand that more deeply. Beyond that, I had no idea what I was trying to do. I was like, I don't know. I want to do something where I can, in many ways at that time when I was like in college, I was like, I just want to do something where I can continue to make sure that that I get paid to work out, or that I get paid to be interested in these things, for the rest of my life, to be able to take care of myself. That somehow that is all integrated. That was kind of where my head was at. That's it.
Ah, there we go. That's right, and a bright head indeed, because my goodness, with all of that wonderful stuff, heck, even, I guess, in one of your past interviews mentioning being an anatomy nerd and all the other things, knowing about the body and the kinesiology and everything, and really melding it all together so it could be a wonderful force of nature. My goodness, I believe you also were into sports growing up to help facilitate that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I I ended up getting into playing sports. It was again one of those things that just kind of happened naturally. Started playing basketball, got into softball. There was just a natural gift talent for these things. So I think between already being very interested in nutrition and exercise, and then also getting involved with sports, they naturally complemented each other well. And I started really realizing and understanding what it actually means to increase your performance, to actually get stronger, faster, more powerful, how that translates into playing sports and ultimately winning. So yeah, very much so. And it was cool. It was cool to see how they work together, and then eventually obviously continue to ripple out into, various other parts of my life and career from there, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, my goodness, so with all that wonderful experience, what led you to really become an entrepreneur, especially in the wonderful, somewhat grueling fitness industry?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, today I would consider myself an entrepreneur in more of the transformation space, healing space, self-development space. Now we're beyond the fitness, right? Now we're beyond my journey started in fitness, my career started in fitness. And I obviously was very entrepreneurial in that space as well. I ran my own business and originally started my company, SOmethod SF, through basically tricking people into working out. Actually, no, tricking people into self-development by working out with me. Anyways, but while I started all those things in the fitness arena, I would say now everything is kind of in the transformation space. And so with that said, I mean, I think going on this journey of being an entrepreneur in these spaces, I think a lot of it really just came from wanting to do things differently and wanting to create something that doesn't exist, or even trying to practice something that doesn't exist, and making sure that I get to spread that knowledge as well. Because even when I was in the fitness industry, I obviously, created my own thing and kind of stepped out of traditional settings like gyms and things like that, because obviously I wanted the freedom to do my own schedule and things like that. But it was beyond that, right? I wanted to have that autonomy. I wanted to integrate whatever I wanted. I wanted to be able to have my own practice, literally, in the way that I do things. And so that was how it started in fitness, and then it naturally grew legs from there and turned into a whole integrative transformation bonanza.
That's right, a bonanza. That's right, indeed. A self development bonanza, indeed. It's like, you want to get fit? Yeah. You want to lose some weight? Yeah. Come on in. So, yeah, so I was telling you that you can do it, right? Yeah, I could do it. Hey, you know this wonderful book by Tony Robbins? Yeah. Yeah, so I got this wonderful book by Lillian So, right? Yeah, wait, that's you, isn't it? Yeah, it's me. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, you didn't have the full book back then, but it's just interesting.
Exactly. Exactly. That would have been a lot easier if I had written the book first, for sure. Yeah. Because it's definitely been a long journey of, sharing what I do and helping people understand what I do and delivering that message, right? It's not like it's something that you can just like readily find, like no one's on the internet, no one's on Google searching for one-stop shop for transformation and development. Like who do I hire if I want to lose weight and improve my relationships and make more money at the same time? Like no one's like searching for that. You know, no one's searching for that. So, it's been a very interesting journey of entrepreneurship for sure.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. But it is actually interesting though, because the thing is, like the physical, like you get your body right and fit. Like a lot of that stuff really tends to flow towards your way usually, or at least it improves better if you didn't work out at all, or at least tried to stay physically active and fit.
What does when you try to?
Oh yeah, because one thing I'm loving in your book that you mentioned how you encourage folks to at least move. Because some
Oh,
folks
right.
they may want to stay in the whole cardio thing, have a heavy set of cardio, and sometimes they do it once a week and give up because they hurt themselves or don't want to keep going back. And it's like, oh, at least focus on keeping your body moving as opposed to just the whole, I guess, in a way, doing the whole extreme fitness sort of thing.
Yeah, or trying to maintain a certain kind of like regimen, or the all creating all these rules. It is so much more effective and sustainable to think of taking care of your body, especially in the form of exercise and things like that, rather than, I mean, the word exercise itself just sounds so boring, doesn't it? But if we if we say movement, like, oh, I need to move my body today, it's like everyone can get down with that. It's like, oh yeah, I should move my body too. Yeah, like I've just been sitting all day. I should probably move my body too. Versus if you've been sitting all day and you go, oh, I really need to exercise today. It just feels like another chore. It feels like another thing you have to do on top of all of your responsibilities. Whereas, yeah, but if you've been sitting all day and you're like, oh man, I just need to move my body. It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Probably do. There's probably all kinds of stuff just pooling in your hips because you've been sitting all day. Yeah, should probably get some blood circulating and get those muscles firing and lubricate those joints a little bit. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh yeah, that's right. All the pennies and nickels. That's right. All the cents indeed. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness. So what I love about your fabulous book and everything that you do is that you really give folks the good information indeed that they actually need and help them to actually really just take those tiny steps to really transform. Because like with information, it's great, but we can kind of have information overload and be overweight with information these days.
It's very true. Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure was delivered in this book was not just more information, but really give you practical action steps. No, like literally do this. This is how you improve your energy. This is how you improve your mental health and, regulate your emotions. This is literally how you do those things. You do it by doing these exercises, by taking these immediate and imperfect actions. And I know that's a huge thing that a lot of my clients say when they first come and find me or when they first meet me. They'll say, I understand. I read all the self-development books, and I understand that I have to, be more confident and be more vulnerable. And I know that I have to, take care of myself, right? They're kind of like these high level ideas, right? Like, I know I need to put myself first. I know I need to fill my cup first. I know I need to, manage my energy. But then beyond that, it's like, okay, so can you like tell me exactly how, like step by step? Like that makes sense. No, it makes sense that I have to manage my energy. I get that. Okay, manage your energy. Okay, cool. I got to manage my energy, not my time. I totally understand that. Okay, now how do I do that exactly? How do I actually manage my energy? Like, what does that mean to actually manage my emotional energy? And no one's actually giving you these practical action steps. And so that's what I try to provide in this book. So it's like, it's beyond just more information, it's beyond more ideas, but it's actually literally step by step. Here's what you do: block off your calendar, say no, say I have a hard stop to take care of your energy, right? So like literally spoon feeding you the step by step action steps. And here is really where the magic is.
That's right. That's where the magic is, indeed. That's right, and there's no wand involved either. That's right.
Or bunnies or hats or any of that. Yeah.
But they're all rabbit holes.
Yes, but there are rabbit holes. Yes, yes, yes. No rabbits, but rabbit holes. Good. You caught that one. Nice. I like it.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. The magic of callbacks, one of the best tools in any humor arsenal. So my goodness, so with helping folks to really manage their energy, like I know since basically helping a lot of folks, especially overachievers, especially I guess both of us being overachievers with all the stuff that you've accomplished. Like my goodness, is there any blind spots that any typical blind spots, any two or three that stick out when you're helping your clients break through certain things and transform?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, as far as blind spots go, I think everybody comes in to work with me for various different reasons. And a lot of times, it all comes down to like, oh, you think it's this, but it's actually this. And so, for example, a client may come in because they want to lose weight. And they think that if they lose weight, they're going to be so much happier, more confident, etc. And they've tried all the things. They've tried 2-a-days. They've tried, they've tried going to crazy workout classes and various different diets and whatnot. They're not moving the needle. They don't understand. So then they come in, and when they work with me, somehow organically through the process, they realize that they're in a toxic relationship. They never even considered that. They didn't even bring it up on their call, right? They didn't even bring it up on their very, very first call with me. It wasn't even like something that was on their radar. They're just thinking like, I don't know why I can't get rid of this weight. I've been trying to die. I don't know what's happened over the last 2 years. My body it just won't budge. I've tried this, I've tried that. I don't know. I mean, so, here I am. I'm gonna, I hear you do things holistically. So, I want to sign up with you. And I say, okay, great. And so, yeah, and then they come in, 2 months later, 6 weeks later, 3 months in, they're like, oh my God, I'm just surrounded by toxic relationships. I've been in I've been in a trauma bond for the last 2 years. My boss and I are totally codependent with each other. I never know how to say no to my mom. Oh my goodness. And it's like, this is what's weighing me down. This is the reason why my body is not letting go, right? Because I'm so tangled up in all of these relationships, and I feel like I'm not free. So it's just weighing on me, right? So that would be like an example of a blind spot. I think another example of a blind spot is here's kind of like a different one. It's when somebody, I see this a lot of times with my clients, they come in, a couple things when it comes to the work. So one of the things will be that they're actually already incredibly valued and incredibly appreciated and incredibly respected at their job. And everybody sees them as a high performer. Everybody sees them as someone who's always able to deliver and all of that. But then they can't see it for themselves because, let's say, growing up, they've never learned to internalize. Maybe they never received praise, or maybe they never received these affirmations from their parents growing up. Maybe they had like very stoic parents, or maybe they had very, serious parents that never really, had warm, intimate conversations. And so for this person, there's like a complete disconnect of whether or not they're doing a good job or not. They have no idea. They're just like, they just show up and they just work and they overextend themselves, and they just have no idea that they're actually killing it and that they're actually loved and valued. And so they're burning themselves out. They don't really feel fulfilled because they never feel that from themselves on the inside. And so a blind spot for them is self-love, right? They don't realize that they actually don't have that same affection, value, worthiness for themselves. And they don't realize that this is why they never feel fully fulfilled. This is why they don't understand why they're constantly like burning out, why they always feel so guilty, if they don't feel like they did enough at work and so forth. So those are a couple different examples. Would you like me to give another one?
Oh, sure. Go ahead, especially when you're smiling like that.
Okay, cool. All right. I think another one on the flip side, also, work related, because I have a lot of overachieving, workaholic type clients. There's a huge blind spot where they feel like that the only way that they're going to get that promotion or get that raise is by completely saying yes to everything, right? And they're just like, just have to be visible. I have to have my hands in everything. I have to work overtime. I have to say yes to every project, et cetera, et cetera. But then what ends up happening through that process is, one, they're losing themselves. They're completely burning themselves out. And they actually don't even realize that, in a sense, they are teaching their employers or maybe their team to not value them. So then through that process, they actually end up never getting that promotion that they keep on chasing after. And they can't understand why. I don't understand. I'm so frustrated. How come I never get that promotion? I feel like I always say yes to everything. I'm killing myself every day. And it's like, well, actually, you're teaching them that like you'll just take on this work no matter what, that you're always going to say yes no matter what. It's like you don't respect your own boundaries. You don't even take care of yourself. So why are they going to take care of you? And so these are some various different examples of ways that, you think it's this, or you think that this will get you that outcome. You think that dieting will get you that outcome. You think, constantly working all the time, even though you are already appreciated and everyone actually thinks you're great. Or the flip side of that, which is, you think that if you take everything on, you'll be seen, but then it's actually having the reverse effect. So that can show up in, a couple different ways, right? So our relationship with work is complex. So those are various different ways where, you think it's this, but it's like, you're not seeing this thing though. You're not seeing this. You're not looking at it like this. You're not looking at it this way. You didn't see that thing here. You're only looking at it from this angle. Right? So that's how I would say those are some examples of blind spots.
Oh, yeah, that's right, folks. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. With those wonderful blind spots that Lillian mentioned, hopefully you'll get to take off the wonderful shades that you have to wear if you go to a certain eye doctor appointment, so that way you can let your eyes be revealed to see some of the stuff happening.
Totally. Oh, just trying to block out that computer light.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's probably even oh god, better example. Especially with, my god, these past couple of years with these interesting times that we're in, forcing
Mhm.
us to be in front of screens more as opposed to being around
Yeah.
actual humans to try to protect ourselves.
Yeah. There's a lot of interacting through a screen. It's kind of wild if you think about it. It's like, oh yeah, we've been doing this for like 2 years now. That's crazy. Time flies.
Yeah, you can say that again. It's like 2022 is really 2020 part 2.
Right. Totally.
Heck, actually, that's even probably a wonderful question, even though it's probably a generic question considering the times that we're in. But how has business been for you during this pandemic since you are out of the fitness business and you're more in the transformational business that's focusing on the person's whole body, the whole life being empowered?
Yeah, I mean, my business was already making the transition to going all online towards the end of 2019. So, I mean, honestly, talk about just being ready, just one of the things that I always say, is if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. And I feel like that was one of those moments for me because at the end of 2019, I was like, all right, like I'm ready to like really shut this down and bring this all online and start making that transition. So I had already started making those moves at the end of 2019. I was already doing a bunch of stuff online too. I was kind of like I was doing like a hybrid business, right? I was seeing some clients in their homes. I was doing some stuff online. I was doing some things in person. It was a little bit of everything. But towards the end of 2019, I was like, all right, I'm ready to shut this down one by one and like bring it all online. And then March hit. So I live in San Francisco. March hit, and our mayor just out of nowhere just was like, shut it down. We're on lockdown. And I was like, whoa. And we were all like, what? I literally
Yeah.
walked upstairs. And I walked upstairs from teaching what I did not know, what I learned to find out was my last class there, right? So I used to teach workout classes at a nightclub. And I used to see my clients there, when we did our group work and transformation work and all that stuff. And I came upstairs, and yeah, the owner was like, yeah, so that was it. We gotta shut it down. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? Like, for how long? He's like, I don't know. I was like, wait, what? I was like, damn, you cold. Okay. I guess call me sometime. It was so abrupt. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. And in the weirdest way, it was like, well, I guess that kind of figured itself out for me. It kind of expedited the process. It was almost like there was no slow breakup process. It was like, yeah, that's it. Cool. That online thing that you were trying to do, how you were trying to get everything online? That's perfect. Like, we're ready for you now. Miss So, we're ready for you now. I felt like that's what the universe handed me. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, then. I guess we're doing this. So pretty much I was already set up. Everything was already on its way. And then once the lockdown hit, once the pandemic really went into full effect, that was when I was able to put all my energy into, really nurturing everything online. And so we were fine. We survived. We, not only did we survive, but especially as we started heading later into 2020, summer, fall, and all that stuff, I think by then folks were starting to feel the accumulation of the sudden shutdown, right? I think in the beginning, it's like, we don't know anything. A lot of people were scared. They weren't even leaving their house, and then after few more weeks and then a couple months, I think that's when folks were like, oh, wow, all of a sudden, I have time. I'm starting to feel things. Stuff is coming up. Well, I guess I'm not going anywhere. Maybe I should work on myself. And so a lot of those things, I think, started to come up for people in late 2020. So it was very, very well aligned as far as where I was already going, where we were in the world, what I had already prepared. Yeah, it's very good. I feel like it was a win-win for all in that sense. So although the pandemic has not been easy for everyone, it's definitely, there's a lot of silver linings, and there's a lot of doors and portals that were open, especially for healing and transformation during that time for me and my clients and my community.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chieftain, Queen, swag, indeed. All the doors, the silver linings, baby. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah. Pandemic definitely is definitely interesting. Forced a lot of folks to shift forward, and even though it's had its bads, it's also had its good stuff. Actually, a lot of good stuff, and folks to forced a lot of folks to rethink a lot of things, and finally press the start/go button on what they were waiting to finally do.
Totally. I think it really brought a lot of perspective for a lot of folks. And a lot of pain and annoyance, like, my kids are at home. We got Zoom school help. We have no space in the house, of course, all that stuff. But even with that, I think that also created a lot of perspective of like, oh, wow, sending my kids off to school is a blessing. I am grateful. I'm grateful for school teachers. Oh my goodness, who knew they had such a hard job? Things like that. So, and then obviously the perspective of like, wow, what am I doing with my life? What actually does matter? How have I been spending my time, and how do I want to spend my time moving forward now that I've been, given these very unique situations and scenarios.
Oh yeah, that's right. Unique situations indeed. So my goodness, since this is far from your first rodeo, is there a question that you wish you would be asked more often when you're on the podcasting guest side of the game?
I've never been asked that question before. Interesting. I don't know. I can't think of one right out the gate, actually. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe something like, what are some, crazy results clients have had, or, like, what can you do that no one else can do? Stuff like that, I guess. Just let a girl flex one time, I guess, stuff like that.
Well, go ahead, hit him with the flex. So, what's the craziest result you've had one of your clients has achieved by working with Lillian So?
Oh my goodness. I mean, honestly, and then you asked me the question. I'm like, oh man, to be quite honest with you, there are a lot. There are a lot of crazy, miraculous, amazing, mind-blowing transformations people in our community have experienced. Everything from reconciling with their parents, after not speaking to them for years, after only 4 weeks of being inside my container, to, healing plaque psoriasis that they didn't even know was something that they wanted to heal. Like they had never even mentioned it to me. They first came in to work with me, and then it just mysteriously cleared up one day, and they're like, it's gone. I mean, I came in here to work on X, Y, and Z, but I guess that was also talking about another blind spot. I didn't realize that working on all these other things would also clear up my psoriasis. Like, what? That crazy mind body connection. Honestly, my clients get crazy, crazy financial career transformations. I mean, they come in and, they'll come in and they'll be overworked, feeling underappreciated, spiraling every day at the job, having panic attacks, to, within 3, 4 months, turning that completely around, finding new jobs with employers that value them, getting $30,000 salary increases, $50,000 salary increases, 60,000 salary increases, just within a matter of months, after being stuck for years at whatever, pay rate that they were at. So really, really big, big, big transformations in that way. I think, we've losing 20, 25 pounds is pretty common for people, within 4 months of doing the work with me. And they're not even trying to actually actively, like they don't come in because they want to diet plan or because they want to lose weight. They come in because they just don't feel happy, and they don't want to feel like that anymore. They just want something to change. And then through the process, it's like, oh my gosh, I lost 25 pounds. Like, how did that happen? So that kind of stuff, those are all examples of, just crazy, unexpected, results. I mean, we have a client who had a baby, got pregnant 3 months after doing the work with me. And, they were told that they would never be able to get pregnant, unless on their own, unless they had all kinds of treatments and, interventions and whatnot. So yeah, anything is really possible is what I'm realizing. I mean, I've always known this in my heart and in my soul and even through my own journey, but that gets affirmed every single day now as I see my clients have these crazy transformations too. It's like, yeah, wow, like anything is possible. Even things you didn't even know you wanted, to be possible is possible. So that's pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, powerful indeed. And what I love about you, your business, and what you do is the fact that you're not some person who has actually been through something, because you've actually been through a panic attack or quite a few yourself too, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not just panic attacks, but trauma bonds and getting into all kinds of dysfunctional relationships and overworking myself and burning myself out and people pleasing, not having boundaries and burning the candle at both ends, not sleeping enough, working until stressing myself out until my hair falls off. I mean, I've worked out a lot of demons myself. I've been there, I've been there, and I know, and I think what I've really learned is that it doesn't have to be like that. And so knowing that I've been able to set myself free, I know if it's one of those things where it's like, well, if I can do it, you can do it. And now that we have a whole community around all of this, we're constantly showing us what's possible. We're constantly showing each other what's possible. It's like, well, if she can get a $30,000 raise, you can get a $30,000 raise. If she can lose 25 pounds, you can lose 25 pounds in 4 months. They can get pregnant when the doctor said they can never get pregnant. You can probably get pregnant too. So it really starts to increase and exponentially, increase the rate of even more amazing wins and success of the community as well.
Ah, yeah, that's right, folks. Lily's gonna help you get knocked up, folks, and she's an exorcist. That's right. Let me stop.
Like actually though. Out demon and baby in. I'll help you, whatever you want. I got you.
Demon out, baby in. All right. That's a new one.
Exactly. It's so funny.
Yep, that's right. For this follow up to this book is going to be so pregnant. Let me stop.
We actually did have a hashtag once a few years ago. It was hashtag so fertile. So, we have so fertile because we literally had 3 women in our community, which was much, much smaller back then. So, the percentage was like 30% of our community. Like 3 women got pregnant at like the same time. They all had their babies within like a month of each other. It was crazy. So I was like, yeah, whatever you want, you know, somebody wants to get pregnant, holla at your girl. Somebody wants to lose 25 pounds, call me. You wanna exercise and you wanna exorcise? Got you too. All of that. Whatever you need. One-stop shop. That's what we do here.
Oh man, I love it. When you said so fertile, it just hit me. So do you? Oh, well, I guess that's a pun intended. Well, anyways, well, unintended. Who am I kidding? Puns are always intended here, even though they're not always intentional. But since so empowered, so fertile, do you have a whole set of alphabet so's, like different words and adjectives after so?
I do actually. So I consider everything. So first of all, my company is called SOmethod, and what I take my clients through is the SOmethod. And the SOmethod is a 5-pillar process where I take you through, where I help you transform through 5 different pillars. And that is your biology pillar. That's where the health and fitness comes in. That's where taking care of your body comes in. I have a programming pillar. I have inner compass pillar. I have a communication pillar and a manifesting pillar. So the idea is that when we work on all of these pillars at the same time, over a long time, you can literally transform every area of your life. And each pillar is also a so pillar. So underneath the SOmethod, there are 5 pillars. And so the biology pillar is when you have your biology pillar on lock, you are so fit. Right? And when you have your programming pillar on lock, you are so clear. When you have your inner compass on lock, you are so loved. When you have your communication pillar on lock, you are so heard. And when you have your manifesting pillar on lock, you realize that this is so real, right? You've just made everything so real, right? All those dreams, all that vision you have, it's all real now, so real. So yes, we do have everything. And then I have 4 fitness programs that I've created under the SOfit umbrella. And those are called So Free, So Fierce, So Fluid, and So Defined. So yeah, there's a lot of so words out there. The whole thing, yeah. I had no idea. Growing up as a kid, I hated my last name because it was like, oh, it's like, so what? Lillian, so what? And I thought it was, too short. It's actually not even the way it's supposed to be pronounced in Korean. My last name is actually So.
Ah.
And so, through immigration and the paperwork thing and whatever, they just made it So. And so that's what happened, along the way in the journey coming to the States. My my family's last name went from So to So. And so I would always, when I was young, it's like, that's not even my real last name. My last name is actually So. It's not supposed to be So. And now it's like, oh, that's kind of tight. We can just slap it on everything. It's great. Like endless, limitless possibilities. Let's go. Pretty cool.
That's right. Cooler than two cucumbers because she's so fabulous, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Well, definitely don't want to be respectful of your time. So, got 2 more questions, and then you can make a run for it. So, this fun question I've been torturing guests asking guests since November last year. So, if your wonderful book, So Empowered, was a food item, what would it be and why?
If it was a food item, what would it be and why? I mean, I don't know if it would be a food item. I think it would be, how is the food being presented? And I would say that it was a buffet. So I don't think that it would be I'm like, I can't say it would be one food item. Well, what is a one food item that is kind of like a buffet? Like a chicken pot
Lord.
pie or something.
Actually, heck, even gumbo, actually, now that I think about it.
Something like that, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Jambalaya. Like,
Yeah, that could be it.
like what chopino, like what, something that's just got like hella ingredients and like got like 10 different flavor profiles in one sip. You're just like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's like, I taste so many different things right now. Would be that. I said chicken pot pie. That's hilarious, but it makes total sense too. Oh my
That's right.
goodness.
It's so potted. It's so filled with greatness.
Yes, so many different ingredients party in your mouth. So yes, that is what my book would be. It's a very interesting question. Thank you for asking me that.
Oh, my pleasure indeed, because I kept on making darn food references on these interviews, and out of nowhere it just popped in my head. Wait, books are food for the mind, so if your book was a food
Mm,
item, what would it be? And helps to sell the book even further and give folks more reason to buy it. And hacking helps folks to visualize and think of great things indeed.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, yes indeed, yes indeed. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but you're in the year of 2022 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh my goodness. Hmm. Oh my God, there's just like so many things. This is like a really, really hard question. What is the advice I would give to myself?
Yeah, you're basically 25, but you're in 2022 with all of your amassed knowledge and
Yeah,
experience. So
I
basically
would
going back
say
3 years.
you are so kind. I would say don't worry. Don't worry about any of this nonsense right now because you're going to be really hot and rich for a long time for the rest of your life. That's what I would say. Like, don't worry. Just don't. Just don't worry about none of this. Whatever it is that you're worried about, just don't even worry about it. You'll be hot and rich for the rest of your life. That's a mindset.
Hey, I can agree with that. I can agree with that indeed. That's right indeed. Because that's right. That's what happens when you're fitness for so long and you get your mind right and you take care of your temple. You'll be hot for a very long time. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right. You'll be hotter than fish grease. That's right.
Oh yeah, that sounds dangerous.
That's right. It's a dangerous inferno, y'all.
Yep, yep, yep. Watch out. Might get cooked
Oh.
coming around here.
Oh man, well this has been so fun on the bun indeed. So my goodness, so for those who want to continue the fun and keep in contact with all the wonderful stuff that the lovely Lillian is doing, what's the best way for folks to do so?
Well, there's lots of ways that you can get a hold of me, but you can visit my website, thesomethod.com. So thesomethod.com. And honestly, I feel like sometimes this is just the easiest thing to say, which is just put my name, Lillian So, in the Google. Everything you need will just pop up anywhere. There's all kinds of ways. When you just follow down whatever rabbit hole the internet takes you to around my name, you'll end up on my YouTube page. You'll probably find my Instagram. You'll probably find my book. You'll probably find my website. You'll probably find multiple websites. I got all kinds of websites. You'll eventually find my email with ease. Slide into my DMs. Find me on Instagram. There's just so many ways. So yes, you can visit my site, The So Method. You can pick up my book, So Empowered, on Amazon. And you can just put me on the internet and find your way to me some way, somehow, for sure. So I'm not that hard to find.
Oh yeah, that's right, folks. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She's like an octopus with 300 arms, y'all. That's right. That's right indeed. All that good stuff is out there. So go ahead and grab a piece, y'all. Buy some copies of our magical books. Share with your friends, families, cat, penguin, dog, camel, and heck, even if you can share with all of them at the same time, share it with a tiger as well indeed. Just make sure you have a wall of cat food for protection. That's right. That's right. So that way you can be so protected.
See, you get it. You're right there. Doesn't even take you an hour to like you're just in it now. You're in the pocket.
That's right. Put me in the pocket. I'll pop out and be like, hey, buddy, did you buy this book yet? It's so fabulous. Yes, yes, it's.
Exactly.
So, any parting words before we close up shop, Lillian?
I can't say that I have anything, to say, parting words. I mean, I guess my final words are, you know, it is possible for you to transform your life. It is possible for you to take control of your life at any age. It's never too early to start. It's never too late to start. So, know that you can literally turn your life around whenever you're just ready to make it happen. So, and then if you pick up my book, hopefully you'll be able to expedite that process as well, because I do consider it like a human operating manual in a lot of ways. So get you some.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one listening right now. Thanks a bunch for sharing some of your time out of your day to listen to this podcast. To take it to the next level, be sure to share it with someone that you care about and that would get something out of this podcast too. Advance others to advance yourself.